Good evening, everyone, and welcome. It is time to talk about sumo on a Monday. It is day 9 of the sumo on Monday, March 17th. Happy St. Patrick's Day. If you're a person that celebrates that holiday, nobody here in Japan knows about it. I used to live in Shimane-ken, as many of you know. Shimane in Matsue has a connection with Ireland, not only through the writer Lafcadio Hearn who wrote about myths in Japan. But yeah, they've hosted the Irish soccer team when they came over for the World Cup in 2002. But anyway, they have a St. Patrick's Day parade. Maybe it was yesterday on Sunday because they would probably do it on the weekend. Yeah, so you can find a little bit of it here. But I wore green today. To work and talked a little bit about it in my classes, but yeah, it's largely unknown here in Japan. And my boy Linus is here wearing his green. So happy St. Patty's Day if you are so inclined. All right, let's just jump right into it. Spoilers. It was a crazy day of sumo again. Well, not the whole day wasn't crazy, but the end was, and we'll see why in a moment. All right, let's jump into it. Share what's happening. Okay, well, this is the first open tab. Why not start here? Java all alone. Now, Java had a 2-win buffer, and that's been reduced down to a 1-win buffer now against Go Broncos, Kiritimba, and Vanya, who all have 41. Go Java's in the lead with 42. The tiebreak, Onosato is viable. Let's just scan here. Did anybody pick Takayasu as the tiebreaker? I cannot imagine anybody did, but yeah, I don't see anybody that has Takayasu. Assuming that it's also going to be colored like Onosato. No, there it is. Darren, you get the no prize of the day if you're familiar with the Marvel no prize for picking Takayasu in the tiebreaker. Oh, and a few more people down here. Okay, I got to shout. Camberry, Alvaro. Look at that. I didn't think anybody. Oh, and the fourth one, Alan, Elaine. Oh, a fifth one, Jim Bob. Hey, Jim Bob. That's a great name. All right, anybody else? Let's keep going down. About 700 people in the contest, so we're almost at the end. 5 people. All right, there we go. So at the top, now you'll see that one person in first place, 3 people in second place, 2 people in third place with 40, ibuprofen and jam, and then 7 people in fourth place. So the top now is pretty tight, but I am in seventh. No, I'm not in seventh anymore. That was it. I was like, oh, I should still be in seventh place, and I'm not. Even though I got a lot of wins today, I'm now in eighth. But I've moved up to where there's only 86 of you ahead of me now. It was 200 and something, then it was 100 and something. Now it's 86 of you have a better score than I do. So I'm doing okay. And yeah, Wakataka Kage and who knew that Kirishima would be kind of a downer on my team, but there you go. All right. Over on the Patreon page, the collection for days 6 to 10. We got one more day, obviously, in that collection, and then I'll do the final third of the tournament. We have Hoshoru versus Ichiyamamoto in its own video, Onosato Abi, Kotozakura Takayasu. Then we had the two Sekewake matches. No, Wakataka Kage. What happened with Wakataka Kage, and I apologize to Patreon people, is I had this video, Tobizaru Wakamoto Hara, and I thought, oh, I'll put the Wakataka Kage match in here too. But because they didn't have footage on NHK from 4 to 5, they showed a bunch of replays. And I thought, oh, that's great. Everybody's going to get to see what happened in the first half. And then the Wakataka Kage versus Chiyoshoma match happened. And if you've seen the day's events, you know that it ended in a mono-e, a judges conference. And so I'm like, oh, damn. Okay, I'm running out of time. And it was like, if they call it one way or the other, I'll just have enough time in the 10-minute time limit. But they ordered a Tori Naoshi, a redo, a rematch. So I'm like, oh, I'm not going to have enough time in this video, which ended up being 9:41 as it were. So I had to stop it and put the rematch in this video, and then I added the Kirishima Gonoyama match to that video. So yeah, you just got to kind of roll with me sometimes on the way I'm putting the videos together. But there you go, a bunch more videos from day 9 for you. Okay, jumping over to the official page. Oh, look at the poster boy here, not having the tournament he was hoping. And let's see here. Absent people. Nabatame did come back and fought today, up in the top division on day 9. Nobody else pulled out of the tournament. Let's see. Let's check in real quick on. I know this is strange. This is how I get there. Enho. He lost. He lost on day 9. So, he's lost one match each time. He hasn't gone, undefeated. So that probably means he won't win the Yusho in Makushita because somebody will probably go undefeated at 7-0. But right now he's at 4-1. He already has his Kachikoshi. So he's got 2 more matches coming up in the next 5 days, or 6 days rather. And hopefully he can get a couple more wins. And Asanoyama, well, we'll look when we see the tournament leaders. We'll see if Asanoyama is on the list. But yeah, Enho not getting a win today. All right. So let's start down in Juryo, as we often do. Day 9 results here. Hitoshi going to 7-2, having a very good tournament in his debut. Oh no, didn't we determine that Hitoshi has been in Juryo before, but he's just now come back? Otsuji is in his debut, and he is floundering a bit at 3-6, losing today. Let's see. Waka Ikari at 5-4 at Juryo 9 beat Tsurugisho. Kusano, man, he's still winning. 9-0 now. He beat Hakuyozan. So you gotta think he's gonna win the Yusho down there. Hokuto Fuji. Oh no, Hokuto Fuji 2-7. Very close to Omake Koshi now. He lost to Kaze Keno today. Koto Eiho, 6-3, got a win today over Shimano Umi, and only his second loss. So he was 1 behind the leader, and now he's 2 behind Kusano. And he's the only guy I think with 2 losses, but we'll double check that. Yeah, it's because Roga lost, right? If Roga had won, then he'd have a 7-2 like Shimano Umi, but he lost today to Shiden, who's 2-7. That's only his second win of the Basho. Kaya went to 4-5. Kageyaki got a third win. Fujiseun a little bit further behind now at 6-3. Both of these guys are now 6-3. Hidena Umi because he lost. Tamashoho won to go to 6-3. So yeah, Kusano is looking very strong now. 2 wins above everybody else at 9-0. Will it be a Zensho Yusho? Is it too early to maybe to throw that out there? All right. Up into the top division we go. So Nabatame coming back from injury, put up against Ao Nishiki, and it's actually a very spirited match. Um, they showed replays on NHK because they didn't show that first hour of everything. So I got to see all these matches very quickly, just the Tachiai and the match itself. But Nabatame putting up a fight but not getting the win. So he's basically got a losing record now. He's 1-8 if you combine the 2 fours together. So he'll be going down the Juryo Bansuke, but he wants to get a few wins to not go so far down. Aonishiki, though, looking good at getting Kachikoshi. He's now a little bit closer at 6-3. Chirana Umi, this is an important match. Losing today, taking him off the leaderboard. So we had three guys entering the day at 7-1. Chirana Umi losing though to go to 7-2. So didn't get his Kachikoshi here on day 9. Has to wait till tomorrow maybe. Toki Hayate preventing him, and he goes to 5-4. Ryuden beating Mitakeumi, both men 4-5. Shishi getting the better of Asakoryu. Shishi going to 6-3. Both men entered that match 5-3, but Shishi getting the win. Onokatsu losing to Koto Shoho. Sadano Umi versus Takara Fuji. Takara Fuji was born in 1987. So what is he, 38? And Sadano Umi was born in 1987. So both men around 37, 38 years old. Two of the older guys in the top division. Obviously, Tamawashi, the oldest, and Sadanumi getting the win at 5-4. Midori Fuji using one of his favorite Kimarate, Kata Tsukashi, got the win to go to 6-3 over Shirokuma. Oshoma 4-5. Now Shonana Umi, that's a Make Koshi, a losing record 1-8. Atami Fuji going 5-4 by beating Meisei. Speaking of Tamawashi there, who was born in 1984, guys, and he's 40 right now. He'll be 41 in November. Not winning today, though. Endo getting the win. It was a good match. This is a good match if you can find it. I bet you if Don Sumo is doing his top 5, this might have made his top 5 for the day. 6-3 now for Tamawashi, 5-4 for Endo. Hakuoho getting a win over Shodai, 6-3 now. Takeda Fuji beating Nishikigi, giving Nishikigi a losing record at Maegashira 10. So he's in danger. Even at M10, eight rows above the bottom, if he only gets like a 1-14, he'll probably get demoted down to Juryo. So he needs to get at least 2 or 3 wins, I think, to be safe. Takeda Fuji improving to 7-2, so he's one off the pace. Hirada Umi 5-4 against Takanosho. And then this is where my coverage started. So this is where the NHK coverage kicked in. Like I said, they were showing replays, so it was great. You got to see everybody. Wakamoto Haru, though, losing to Tobizaru. So Wakamoto Haru now 5-4, Tobizaru 3-6. Wakataka Kage did get a win today for my team. He now is 4-5. He beat Chiyoshoma. This was a spirited match. Chiyoshoma 3-6. Oh, well, this was the one that was spirited because it went to a redo. Yeah, the first one they went out at almost exactly the same time. It was a good call by the judges, and they had a second chance, and Wakataka Kage took advantage. Gono Yama, the Maegashira 2, beating Kirishima, the Komusubi. Oho getting a 4th win, so he's still got his hopes alive of getting Kachikoshi at Sekewake, beating Kim Bozan. Daisho, an even better chance of holding on to his Sekewake rank, now at 6-3 by beating Ura. Ura just doing some silly flip at the end. Okay, and then we get into the final 3 matches. So Takayasu, 7-1, taking on Kotozakura, the Ozeki, 5-3. And it was a good matchup. Takayasu using this great Shitate Dashinage, like under pull down on his Mawashi to put Kotozakura down on the clay and get his Kachikoshi. Goes to 8-1. And he has to give the water of power to the winner. To the next wrestler, and that happens to be Onosato. And Onosato, of course, was sitting ringside, saw Takayasu win, knows that he has to win now to maintain, get his own Kachikoshi, and tie Takayasu at the top of the leaderboard. He's fighting Abi, and the move Abi puts on Onosato, I think, would have beaten most other wrestlers, and he would have put most other wrestlers out. But Onosato is just wrestling at such a high level this tournament, in my opinion, that he deflects the move by Abi and gets the win. And Abi now 4-5. So Onosato and Takayasu are tied. Both men 8-1. So they both qualify as the for the contest as the tiebreaker. And then Hoshoru taking on Ichi Yamamoto. Now, I did not know this about Ichi Yamamoto. He's just a name that I've heard just because it's kind of an unusual name. It's a long name. Um, I just feel like he's been around for 4 or 5 years, and sure he's fought Yokozuna and stuff like that. No, okay. Um, he's got exactly one Kimboshi, and it came today. He got his very first Kimboshi. Not only was it his first Kimboshi, it was his first time ever to fight Hoshoryu, and it was his first time ever to fight in the Musubi no Ichiban. He never fought in the final match of the day before. So all of that combined, what a day for him. And the interview with him, where he goes into the NHK interview room, he is just smiling and beaming, so happy, and it was great to see. It really was. Um, so he's now 5-4, and I thought, is that Maegashira 4? Is that his highest rank? I just thought he's probably been Maegashira 1. Maybe he's even been Komusubi, and I don't remember. Nope. You go down here, highest rank, Maegashira 4. This is it. This is the highest he's ever been. And it makes some sense then, that he's normally down around Maegashira 11, 10, 12, 9. He's not going to be fighting Hoshoru, who's been up at Sekewake Ozeki, now Yokozuna. And he made his Makuuchi debut in 2021. So, that's 3.5 years of being in the top division, and he's never fought in the final match of the day and never fought Hoshoru, at any time, and obviously never gotten a Kimboshi because he never fought Terunofuji that whole time, or that would have been the final match of the day. So pretty crazy uh, when you think about how much he just feels like he's been around. Over in his stable, he is pretty much it. There's him, there's nobody in Juryo, and then you've got Shimazu Umi at Makushita, who has been in Juryo, and then a few other guys. So he is their lone big name, and having a good tournament overall, but getting the Kimboshi today, huge for him. So congrats to Ichi Yamamoto for pulling that off. So yeah, so Hoshoru looking a bit stunned. He thought he was throwing, executing a nice throw, and Ichi Yamamoto just turned it around on him and got the win. So Hoshoru now finds himself at 5-4. I think, he's obviously got to fight Onosato. He's got to fight Kotozakura. But I think Hoshoru will get the 3 wins. I think he'll at least get his Kachikoshi. But I don't think he's going to get 10. I don't know about you. That he'd have to win 5 of his next 6 matches to get to 10-5. I don't see that happening, but I think he'll win half. I think he'll win 3 of his next 6 to get to 8. It would be pretty disappointing if he went. There is no Kadoban for Yokozuna, but if he didn't get his Kachikoshi in his debut at the rank, that would not be a good look for him. Okay, so there you go. Trying to bounce back because now he's lost 2 in a row, right? He lost to Takayasu and then Ichiyamamoto. Now tomorrow is Ura. And Ura can, pull some shenanigans and do some stuff that might throw Hoshoru off his game. But I think he'll take care of Ura tomorrow. But man, the crowd will just go bananas if Ura somehow manages to win. Uh, and, you know, Abi was a loss. That's to a Komusubi, so that wasn't a Kimboshi. But now he's given away 3, Chiyoshoma, Takayasu, and Ichiyamamoto. So that's the maximum he wants to give away. And after Ura, he's pretty much going to be fighting, Sekewake and Ozeki and stuff for the rest of the time. So this might be his last Maegashira ranked wrestler that he has to face Hoshoru in this basho. So if he can get by Ura tomorrow, which he should, then he doesn't have any worries about giving away Kimboshi. But uh, Yeah, a definite upset in the final match of the day. Okay, tournament leader. So Onosato Takayasu tied, and only two guys left now at two losses. Takeda Fuji still in the hunt, and Chirana Umi. Now, has Takeda Fuji fought either of these leaders? Let's see. No. So he hasn't fought Onosato, and he hasn't also fought Takayasu, even though they're only two ranks apart, Maegashira 6 to Maegashira 4. So my guess is he'll be fighting both of those guys in the next 5 or 6 days. Um, wait. Yeah, because neither of them is in Isagahama stable. I just had to make sure in my brain for a minute. So he will probably fight both of these guys soon. Down in Juryo, you've got Kusano, and then you've got Shimano Umi and Hitoshi. One off, no, two off the pace now. So definitely it looks like it's going to be his championship unless things really go wrong. And we saw in Makushita that Enho is out of the lead, but Asanoyama got a win. There he is. So five straight, got 2 more days to go. My guess is a 7-0 for him, and he will either have a playoff for the championship or just win it outright. So other people that are undefeated in Sandamne, there's three other guys. So yeah, there could be a playoff for the Sandamne championship. Okay, so those are the leaders. Looking ahead to day 10. Start down in Juryo, go over to day 10. And let's see. Kusano has Shimano Umi, which is a fun matchup because obviously he's one of the guys who's close at 7-2. So if Kusano wins this to go to 10-0, he'll be at 7-3. And no, I mean he's not completely eliminated, but that's going to be a ways off. And Hitoshi, the other guy at 7-2, has Tohakuru. And then Hokuto Fuji, Shiden. One of these guys, both are 2-7. One of them's going to get his Make Koshi tomorrow and lose to go to 2-8. The other will stave it off for a day and go to 3-7. Roga against Mitoru. Hidena Umi at 6-3 against Tochi Taikai. Koto Eiho at 6-3 against Kaio. Tamashoho 6-3. Tomokaze and Kageyaki versus Nabatame back down in Juryo in the final match of the Juryo division tomorrow. Okay. Up in the top division, they brought up Fuji Seiyun to fight Toki Hayate in the first match of the day. Aonishiki has Koto Shoho, Shishi Matake Umi, Haku Oho, Chirana Umi. That's a fun matchup. Atami Fuji Onokatsu, both men are 5-4. Tamawashi has Nishikigi. Let's see, Takeda Fuji has Shonana Umi, so they haven't given him Takayasu or Onokatsu yet. And it makes sense because they're fighting each other tomorrow, but I'm assuming coming up soon he'll have to fight those guys. Endo has Kimbozan. Wakataka Kage, the M1. Sorry, didn't want to yawn into camera. It's late here for me. Uh, Against Gonoyama. Kirishima, the Komusubi, has Takanosho. Abi against Wakamoto Haru. That's a fun matchup there. Starting our Komusubi matches. Oh no, Kirishima is our first Komusubi. Daisho has Koho, so a Sekewake clash on day 10. Then the big match, the match of the day for sure. Takayasu 8-1 against Onosato 8-1. The winner will be the sole leader after 10 days at 9-1, and Takayasu or Onosato, whoever loses, will fall back into the two-loss group and be one behind the pace. So that could have serious Yusho implications, that match. And if Takayasu wins that, he's beaten the Yokozuna, one Ozeki, and then the second Ozeki. So he's beaten the three top guys. He'll have uh, a somewhat easier last few days than Onosato will. And I think we can start really hoping that he's going to win the Yusho. If he can get past Onosato tomorrow, that will be a big step toward winning the championship. Then Ichi Yamamoto, fresh off his win against the Yokozuna, has Ozeki Kotozakura, both men going into that match 5-4. And Hoshoru, as I mentioned, ends the day against Ura. So a lot of fireworks at the very end. We got a Sekewake clash. We got that big 8-1 versus 8-1. And Hoshoru Ura for the fans in Osaka. That's a huge match. Oh man, it's going to be a good end of the day in day 10. Of course, I'll have all that action up on the Patreon page for you tomorrow. All right. Anything else? No, I think that's about it. I went over that. I went over the standings. All right. Whew. So, what are you thinking? What do you guys think? Do you think Hoshorter is going to get his Kachikoshi? Or do you think he's going to actually not even get to eight? And who do you think, man? Who do you think is going to win the Yusho? I mean, it's still Takeda Fuji could win it all. I mean, there's still so much that could happen. We got a lot of sumo left. So tomorrow's Tuesday, then Wednesday. So I got 2 more days at work, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I am off. And it is spring break, and I will be home on the couch with full sumo coverage for those last 4 days. Really looking forward to it. And yeah, it was fun last night. Thank you for coming by. A lot of you came by the live Sumo Summary Show, and we had a chat, and we got to ask questions and talk about this and that and the other. And that was great. So thank you so much for doing that. Maybe I'll do it again because I'm going to be off. You know, I could do it. Well, I got to think about you guys. If I did it my Friday night, a lot of you would be at work on Friday. But I could certainly do it live on day 14, that Saturday, before the final day. So maybe we'll do it again then. But yep, that'll do it, I think, for day 9. So take care of yourselves, and I'll see you tomorrow for day 10. Okay, peace.